Um, as far as the payroll, when you prepare that, are you sending it to a payroll company or do you do that in-house?
I'm not 100% sure. I think that we do it in-house. Um, but anyway, I wouldn't want to touch that. I would mostly just want to be able to have a weekly report, and then every week or every 2 weeks I can give it to our controller.
And let them deal with getting them paid
Yes, which
pretty
is
much.
what they're doing now. It's just that um I mean, I wouldn't want to start, thinking if the hours were correct or start to calculating those hours and all that. So um, basically make it as easy as possible for both the temporary employees and me.
Sure. So come end of June, July, they start hiring. How many folks do you end up hiring?
um, so we will have about um, maybe around 15 to 20.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you're just doing it there at the University of Illinois, or do you do it through other campuses?
No,
Or
we are based here, but basically we work with 60 different universities or colleges around the U.S.
okay. And are you looking to do the timekeeping just for the employees that you have there in Illinois, or are you looking to do it through all the folks throughout the country?
So currently we're looking because most of our employees are full-time employees. We don't really need that for them. Um,
Hmm.
we need it for the temporary ones. At, at the moment, we are looking for just to do it for the employees that are coming here to our office.
Okay.
If maybe later on we will find a good solution to incorporate that with our field agents. Um, but at the moment, we're not looking at that.
Sure. If it goes well, possibly roll that out in the future to other sites and see if it can make it easier across
Mhm.
the board.
Yeah.
Sure, I get it. So you say the controller, is he or she the one that makes the final decision, or how does the internal process work for you guys to make a
You mean
decision?
for this system?
Uh-huh.
No, that will be my decision and um, the one above me. We just need to, so you probably know that most people will check a few companies, so I'm checking a few companies,
Sure.
and something that will both fit the need and will be good for us financially, because I won't be able to now spend $100 a month on something
Sure.
that will maybe not save me $100 a month.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I hear you exactly.
so I need to just make sure that it's the right fit. And once I have the options, I mean, to decide that it's very easy. It doesn't necessarily go through our controller.
Okay, perfect. When are you looking to have a decision made?
In the next couple of weeks.
Okay. But you're looking to have it ready to go, say mid-June, end of June,
Yeah, probably.
up and running?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it a long process to set it up?
No, it's actually fairly quick.
Okay.
So basically, and we'll get into this here in a minute, but basically we charge per employee per month.
Mhm.
Um, and we don't have any long-term contracts. We just do month to month.
Mhm.
There's a one-time implementation and setup fee that we do, and that's basically included in that is you have the ability to be trained on the system so that when you have new employees, it's easy to put them in and get them going. It shows you how to do all the reporting, customize what you guys need that way, and also it gives you a couple of pay periods um, running payroll reports to make sure that they stay with you. And they just won't set it up and train you and then say, adios, we're done, type of thing. They stay through you through the first couple times that you actually pay the people, and help you that way. Um, and really, it's very intuitive. It's very simple and easy. And the nice thing is it's all done in the cloud, so it doesn't have anything on your machines, and it's all real time. So if
Okay.
somebody punches in and you're the admin watching that, you can see who's in, who's not, real time, anytime throughout the day. You talk of getting weekly reports, you can actually get daily reports of who clocked in the next day and have that auto generated through an email that comes to you every day.
Mhm.
And just say, oh, hey, somebody was punched in, but they didn't punch out. We're missing a punch. Let me give Jim a call and say, hey, so what time did you finish work? And, this needs to be accurate if you want me to get you paid accurately, right? So it only takes one missing punch by somebody to teach them that they need to do it when they get there and do it when they leave.
Yeah.
So when they're done with their shift, do they punch out from the same facility, even though they
Yes.
may have gone over to a dorm in the meantime?
No, it will be from the same facility, and
Okay.
they will also need to punch out and back in like during a break.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So really, there's three types of ways that we have for punching in and punching out. One is through a mobile device, which if you're um, if you have people punching out, but it doesn't sound like you do, you could use that device. We have the web clock, which sounds like it may be a fit for what you guys said. It'll basically they log in at the computer when they get in. They hit log in, and we can. I'll show you how that looks in just a second, but then they can do that. And then
Mhm.
you have physical clocks as well, where you actually buy a physical clock and then activate it on our system, and it speaks to the software just like the mobile and the web does.
Okay.
Um, and then basically every year you still have that, right? It has a lifetime warranty as long, with normal wear and tear. And
Mhm.
then people use their thumbprint when they walk in and punch out, right? And I'll show you the clock that comes with that,
Okay.
with that feature, with our intelligent punching. And I'll do that. Are you able to see my nice, warm, snowy screen?
Yes.
Okay, so that's in the mountains just above my house. I,
Oh, perfect.
so I'm in Utah, so not too far, just 1,000 miles maybe to where
Yeah.
you're at. But we're in an area where the mountains are big and they snow a lot, so
Oh
it's
wow.
kind of fun.
Gorgeous.
Well, kind of fun for people that are used to it.
Yeah.
So here's what the mobile app looks like. Can you see my screen there?
Yes.
I'm just going to show you real quick here how easy it is. And you can control who uses this or who doesn't very simply. If you are the only one that uses that to see, it's just a toggle screen and they clock in and out. It tells them how many hours they've worked in a certain pay period. Um, really, the time off and all that on these temporary employees, it's not going to show that, but they can see their time card mobily and to make sure they're not missing a punch or track their attendance themselves. But
Okay.
why I still wanted to show you, even though it may not be the best fit for you, it has a dashboard in the mobile app for the supervisors. So if you are the one keeping track of everything and you wake up one morning sick, you can still have access with it right on your phone. And
Okay.
it's a free app and it doesn't cost you any more, but you could see, look, I've got 9 of my however many people checked in. They're all clocked in. Your time off, you're not giving these guys time off because they're just temporary. So
Yeah.
that's not going to be there. But then if somebody calls you and says we've got something going on with the system at the office and you're not there, you can actually talk to everybody and see who's there and punch them all in for them right from your phone.
Okay.
You could also do that from your desktop or your laptop in your residence as well if you're not there, or obviously you can have somebody else do it.
Mhm.
Those are that's how the mobile looks, and it's probably not the fit for the employees, but know that it's available to you as an administrator in the system.
Yeah.
Um, so let me go here to our web app, and this screen will come and go quickly because that's how it will work for an employee. They just log in and they hit the web clock, and they can clock in, clock out, start a break, start a mill, right? And they can punch in. um, but see, as soon as I'm done, it logs me out, right? Because it's
Okay.
really meant to only let them log in or log out when there's a mill. And I'll show you that again in a spot that doesn't go away so quickly. So this is basically the same screen on our web clock. So when they come in, they clock out. If you aren't paying them to take breaks or a meal, this is where they would do that. If you would just want it to be lunch break, that you don't want to have them out, if you give them a 10-minute paid break and don't want to do that, you can have this one go away as well. So
Okay.
they can take their meals and record that, and it's all real time, so it's really nice. Same as the mobile app, the employee, this is their view. They can see their own time cards if I hit the button right. And this is actually one that I manipulate. So it shows me right here that I forgot. Well, I punched in and then I punched in again, so it's waiting for a punch out. Now, that's usually not going to happen in the real life scenario, but what happened was is my coworkers punched me in to get enough people in our demo to show people how it looks, but I punched in again without punching out, and so it's giving me an error. And so
Okay.
myself as an employee, I can fix that
So
since
when
the
you're
day's not
saying
done.
that it won't happen in real life is because basically once you're punched in, you will not be able to do it again,
Exactly. It'll
right?
ask you when you go to punch in again an hour later, it's going to say you're already punched in, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
But the demo doesn't make us do that. These dog ears that you see here up there is meaning a time card's been edited. So it'll show you, I forgot to punch out, so I had to fix the time card, right? And so this one shows when your breaks start and break end. So it's all kept track of, very simple.
Mhm.
There is some, if you have categories of people, you can, these fields over here, they are not set in stone. So you can customize those to read however you'd like. So if you want somebody, clocking in and working on in the warehouse or whatever, you could have them distinguish between the warehouse and the call center employees. So you can manipulate it to make it easier for you to generate the reports.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Can I have
as
two administrators?
yes, so you can have it set up as however you'd like, and the administrators don't don't cost any more, right?
Okay.
So we charge you per employee keeping track of time, and then you can set up a couple logins for administrators,
Okay.
which makes it nice because then you're not tied to your machine all day, every day, right?
Yeah,
So
and I mean
you'll
it needs to be also available for another manager, so it's not just me.
absolutely, yeah, exactly. So as you can see, I show you this personal information is because we don't want anything that important in there. So no, if anybody hacks the system, which they don't, we haven't yet, it just has our name, the date you started, a code that you guys do, employee number, um, and so there's very little information stored in the system, which makes it nice. So this view is all the employee view. It shows how many hours they had for the week if they have a missing punch. Now I'll show you quickly what your view would look like. So your view, you can have a couple looks at it, and you're going to be able to see this particular demonstration has 33 employees. Now, there might be a point at which you guys have 33, right? So you can come in and say, look, 28 people are clocked in and there's 5 out. We can see who is in and out by just hitting that. So Tommy's out, Timmy's in, so forth, right? So simple and easy. Somebody calls for Martin or Jawan. He's out, so you can say he's not working today and take care of that. You will have access to see, well, let me show you one thing. You'll have access in the new employee setup to give access how you want each employee. So if you have that other administrator and she wants to be able to look at the information from her mobile phone, all you do is just type yes and save it, right? And the mobile is no more expensive, right? It doesn't add charges. So if she wants to be able to see who's in and out and help people fix their time while she's walking around a campus, she can do that. And you can have
Okay.
any or all people access to the mobile app. But all you would do to set up a new employee is put their first name, last name, date they start, and then generate them. When you give them the login, you'll put a password in that will ask to be changed as soon as they log in. So they're the only ones that will know their login. But the reason I showed you this was more of their separation date. So if you have someone that comes and just works for a week and then it's done, you can close them out, right? And they're done and they finish today. Well, what happens is that employee is is done in the system, but that information is stays away. So if somebody comes back to you 2 or 3 months later to say, "Hey, you didn't pay me what I was supposed to get,"
Mhm.
well, we'll keep all that in there. It doesn't erase them from the system. It just deactivates them. So
Oh,
that's
got it.
stored in our cloud and our system forever, so that you can, when somebody does their taxes and say, "Hey, you didn't pay me for as many hours," you can go back and say, well, let's take a look at that and see. And you can go back to me. Maybe I'm the one complaining. I'm kind of a complainer. And you can go back to the date, pay period finder. If you want to go back to December and see, oh, yeah, we didn't pay you that week because you didn't work that week.
Okay.
And that would be accurate in my case because I wasn't here. I was at Comcast working that week. So simple and easy. Not let me get back to the normal pay period. So this, like the individual view, this would be the your view and the other administrator's view, and however many employees you have is how many you see. This one has the 33, so it looks quite daunting. Um, I've had to adjust the punches a couple times. That's why I have the dog ears. This particular dot is when I used the mobile app to punch in. And then as an
Oh,
administrator, you just go to the time card option and show the mobile punch. So if you allow somebody for a week or a month or the whole time, if you allow them to punch in on their phone, it's going to give you a GPS punch, and that's where I'm sitting right there in the office
Okay.
today. So it shows me where that is. But if I'm sitting at a Starbucks and I'm punched in, that's going to be a problem, right? But you're going to know about it instead of right now. See, if you go to last week's payroll, I punched in from my house. So the company can choose to pay me or not based on where I was because you didn't have anything to do at home that day, especially in your business, right? So
Yeah.
you can have access to all of that. So pretty simple, easy. The colors of the little personages here. Green means the employee has approved their timesheet and it's all accurate. Yellow means that I still am waiting for the the supervisor to approve that for payroll.
Okay.
So it's simple and easy. You'll probably spend most of your time um, just adding some new employees, but it's all real time. You add one, they can start using the system right away. So there's not any lag in how you can do it. So any questions so far?
Um, so you said that I'm able to basically limit it to where they will not be able to clock in from their mobile phones, right?
Correct.
It
So
will,
just in
will
the when you set up an employee, go to employee setup, employee options, you go to new employee, and they'll train you on this, right? But here you'd say mobile punch enabled. You just leave that at no. Mobile enabled, no. If you want someone to, you just change that as yes when you set up their account. And then,
okay.
so yours, maybe so you guys can see it as with the mobile, you guys can see, you can enable that, right? And then you just go to the Apple Store or the Play Store, or whatever that's called for Android.
Hmm.
I'm obviously an Apple guy because I don't even know the name of where you buy the Apple or the Android
Me,
apps.
me too. That's fine.
And it's a free app, and it looks pretty similar um, to the phone that I showed you. It's the same look, but it looks like it's supposed to be on a phone instead of a mock phone. So, but you control that. Yeah, if you don't want anybody using that mobile, it comes with the service, right? So the web and the mobile come included. They do the same thing. It's just a matter of do you want them punching in the office, or is there an occasion where you want somebody the ability to clock in somewhere else? And so you
Yes.
could do that just for a day too for somebody, right? As a shift changes or as a need arises, you can say, put this on your phone. I'm going to allow you to punch in when you get over to the dorm. You've got to go over there and assemble something or fix something.
Hmm.
You can do that as needed if you or not at all.
So I can edit any employee basically at any point.
Exactly.
Can edit their account.
Somebody just walks off the job, you can go in and just separate them as quick as that and hit
Okay.
save, and there you can do that. And then if I'm the guy that you're terminating today, you just go to me and punch me out, um, and then he's done at 3:37, and boom, it would leave you a note saying employee walked off job. Greg's a quitter.
Okay.
So yeah, it allows you to manipulate that pretty easily. So um, it's good. The nice thing is, so you're saying you just need a simple and easy way to get the information to your controller every week or every 2 weeks or once a month, right? Well, we have like about 18 reports that you can do. One is a daily report that shows you. what everybody does each day, um, and it basically just pops up that quick. So it shows me what I did for the day, right? If I want to prepare a spreadsheet for the pay period, and you define what those pay periods are when you get the system set up. So let's do it for last pay period. I show the dollar amounts, wages, hit submit, and there it is for all the employees that use the punch, the web clock to get in. Hit export. So what's that? 3 clicks, and there's a spreadsheet ready to go, so you can get it to the controller. Right?
Yeah.
You have to do a little manipulation, but nothing that is very difficult, right? And we can have this formatted however you want and however the controller needs to have it formatted for whatever payroll system they're using. And that's why I asked you in the beginning what payroll system they're using so that we can work with them as well. And it could be some proprietary stuff as well, and they just may say any spreadsheet
I
will
mean, I
do.
can check. It's not. I can easily
Yeah,
check it later.
and but
Um,
it gives you that information. It gives you the hours, the pays of everybody, so it's
so the
all
overtime, is it set on what I do at the beginning? Let's say I said that normal hours are 40 hours a week, and then more than that will be an overtime, right?
exactly.
So
So
it will
yes,
automatically calculate that.
and if you're overtime, because they're all temporary and they're all part timers, and if your overtime is more than 29 hours, it's
Hmm.
whatever you tell us and however you ask them to set that up through the implementation process.
Okay. I have one more question.
Yeah,
So
only
is
one.
it no, not for now. um, so for scheduling, is it possible for me to also say I want Greg to work on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? So if you try to clock in on Monday, it will say, you're not supposed to be working today.
Yeah, so we do have that in our basic scheduling package.
Okay.
Are you how
It's not extremely
how
necessary. I'm just like, just because I saw
no, it
scheduling,
is.
like, I go together.
We can make it so it gives um a big red sign that says you're not scheduled to work, and or at the same time, if they're scheduled to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and they show up at 6:30 and try to punch in, it's not going to let them as well.
Okay.
So it's going to say you're scheduled at 8, and you can make that so that you do um, not let them punch in until a time that you've given us, either 5 minutes before at the max or whatever you want to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're not paying somebody to go sit there for an hour and read the paper and have coffee
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
do some Facebook or whatever, right?
Mhm.
As much as you like them, that you still want to pay to do their own stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's certainly something that people use a lot of in the system as well. And then so
Okay. So, yeah.
you can do basic scheduling in there if your scheduling is such that is more complex. We do have our time simplicity, which is a full-blown scheduler. So basically, you can build the schedule for a month or a week or 2 period, a 2-week period, publish that, and then everybody gets notified of their scheduling. People can move shifts around if someone needs to pick up. Someone can't come and they want someone else to pick up their shift. They can take care of all that.
Okay.
Um,
And what is the basic one?
the basic is what's going to get you that feature that you want, and I'll make it so they can't punch in unless they're scheduled. And so that comes with um, more. We have our basic time and attendance package. We would the basic scheduling would come with, a second tier of packaging. So it's gonna help you with that as well. And I can get you all the pricing for both those. But it sounds to me
Okay.
like, do you know what kind of system they've been using for scheduling, or is it just all manually done right now?
It was mostly manually on an Excel sheet.
Okay. Yeah, so probably, and I can double check and let you know that, but I really think the basic scheduler would do that for you.
Hmm.
I mean, the basic scheduling is what gets you the punch lock, the they call it punch lock out. So if you're
Okay.
not scheduled or if you're showing up way too early, it's not going to let you log in until you're scheduled. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the basic scheduling feature. Now, if you want it to let you do all of your schedule all the time for these folks, then I would look at our time simplicity package to do that.
Okay. Um, so let's talk about prices a little bit.
Okay. So no, that's not a problem. I think our service is very affordable. I think there's some that are cheaper out there, but I also know that a lot of them require self-install and they send you a software and they don't really train you on it. So I think for what you pay, it's quite good. And we don't require any contracts. It's all done on a month-to-month basis, and you need a minimum of 5 people to have in the system to start. But our our service, we actually are a wholesaler. So what I would do, and that's why I always ask about the payroll company, because we sell all of our services through partners, and a lot of payroll companies out there, if they're bigger, could be a partner of ours already. They could already be set up to do the billing and take care of that. So
Okay.
what that means to you, without speaking a different language altogether, is we would have a partner and introduce you to a partner that would bill you for the service, and you would get that from them. So it'd be a third party bill is all it means. Um, but basically, you're looking at $4 per employee per month.
Hmm.
Um, so if you have 10 that you start with, that's $40. They look at that every month and see those 2 months that you start going crazy. If you end up having um, 40, then they'll bill you for the 40. So it'll raise up to that. Um, but it would, for those few months, it would stay at whatever minimum we start at. But you'll
Okay.
charge us, they'll charge as you go based on how many people you have. But the nice thing is there's no contract, so if you just use it from end of June, July, August, maybe some of September, you'd basically pay for 4 months of it,
Hmm.
and then you'd be done.
Is
And
there a way for me to keep the account, like somehow freeze it or?
yes, and that's what I was going to say about, because the one thing we have in when you talk price is the implementation and setup fees, and I'll double check all the packages and see, and we may be able to use some promotional discounts right now because it is coming up on the end of the month. So I'll see what I can do there.
So it's like
But
a double discount because it's also Memorial Day weekend.
boom, see, so let me see if they've got some type of double whammy going on, right? So
There you go.
yeah, so let me I'll see what I can do there for sure.
Okay.
Uh, but the last thing I want to do is get you in and you like it and it works well for what you're doing, and then have to pay those implementation fees of, if it's a couple $100. I don't want you to have to pay those every year in May or
Right.
June or whatever, or every semester. You could do it at the start of every semester, right? So the
It
way
will
I
mostly
see,
be in the summer, so it's every year. But
mostly,
maybe if it will work well, and we can use it as we said in other areas as well, so we might use it more. But at this
yeah,
point, it will be for that period of time, once a year.
yeah. Well, and that being said, we have a lot of companies that are using their full-time employees that are on salary using this, and not so much to keep track of their time, but you can also do accruals for paid time off, and you can do time off requests, and quite a few other things. A lot of the companies use that for their full-time employees just to know that, hey, when you're out working somewhere, that we just want you to start using a clock so we can make sure you're actually on the job site, even though we're paying you 40 hours a week either way, no matter how much you work. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty flexible system. So the one thing about it is at the end, as you start winding down, because we do have that 5 employee minimum, basically those months as you have less employees, um, you just call in and with 30 days notice and bump your minimum. If you had your minimum set at 10, you move it to 5, and then you keep that going, and you pay $20 a month until you start again. Now, once you once we decide on what that is it easier just to leave it open and pay that and use it for a few people? We would have to just see
I
what that
mean, if
looks like.
you're doing $20 a month times 8 months, it's $160.
Yeah,
So it's
and so that's probably just under probably just what a normal implementation pays. So
right,
you'd still be saving money to just bump it down to the
just a little
5.
bit. I mean,
Yeah,
on the other hand, I will still have all my information, right? Tax.
exactly. And that's more important, right? Because not only can you be accurate and nobody can come back and question what you've done, is now you've got an inexpensive database that keeps track of that all for you. And then you can say, hey, we're doing this again. You guys want you want a summer job again? We're happy to help you. You guys did a great job last year.
Yeah.
So it helps in the overall keeping track of things as well.
Okay.
So and the way we do as far as getting pricing to you, the way we set it up is we actually in our system it automatically sends that in a DocuSign. So I can send you a quote. It'll show basically two of the columns. One would be the monthly charge, and we can set that up as low as 5 or whatever you think your employee head count would be, right, starting off.
Okay.
Um, and then the one-time charges would be right under that. And it's going to be really quite simple as far as the way it looks and easy to do. And if you
Okay.
decide that that's what you want to do, is all you have to do is sign that and get it back to me, and that will make generate a technical document where I will send to you that. Basically, I'll send you an email with the answers to all the questions they ask you, except for who your payroll people is. So
Mhm.
whoever your controller reaches out to payroll, that's probably the most important thing on that. But there'll be a handful of boxes on that document, and I'll send a sheet that actually answers all those for you, so you don't have to spend a lot of time on it because that's really uh, our company's been around since 1999 because we've made it so simple and easy for people to do it. And then we don't force you to stay. We do our best to give you great support for the life of how long you're with us. And most of our customers stay with us on an average of about 6 to 7 years. So um, when you're not forced into a
Why don't
contract,
they stay with you longer?
Well, I think they do. I think it's just average. Some you got some that will merge with another company, and
Oh, okay.
some people like their software that they're already using because that's what they know, or
Yeah.
companies will go out of business. There's 100 million reasons why, but
Yeah. I'm just trying to be difficult. I'm kidding.
no, and you can be. It's okay. I can take it. I be difficult well too sometimes. Any other questions that you have?
um, what did we say the one time fee um for the installation?
Um, so you're looking. I'm just calculating it out in my head. You're looking at about. I'm
It's
just
not a
looking.
fixed price.
Well, so we based on the package. So if we do manipulate the system to do the overtime the way you want it, that's considered a custom script, and so that adds $100 to the price of it. So I just don't want to quote you wrong, but
Oh, okay.
I'd rather quote you a number and then make sure it's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, based
I
on what,
mean, I think that um,
I mean, it's pretty basic stuff that you're doing. So at the high end, it's going to be like $350. And then I just have one more question for my processing folks, and if they will do one of the scripts included in the package, then it's going to be it's going to be a little bit less than that one time.
okay.
And so I'll put those all in there, um, so you can see it. The other thing, and I don't know if you're interested in that, we did talk that we do also with a physical clock as well. Would you
With the
rather
what
just have
against you?
with a physical clock where they actually
Okay.
put it on the wall and they punch in? Well,
Mhm.
I have you. Let me just show you what that looks like. And you can look at them all on our website. But the one that has the clock that does the in and out and the breaks as well looks just like this. And obviously it looks just like how it does when you clock in on the web clock on a computer. So that you can have this if it's easier for them and you to just have that on a desk as they walk in the door or on the wall. Um,
And it's with their fingerprints.
mhm.
Okay.
So basically, you would kind of like how you set up your fingerprint on your phone, right? It reads it two or three, 4 times, and then they punch in, punch out when you set it up, and then after that, it's just the one touch in, one touch out, start mill, touch out, and you're gone. Um, the one thing
And I
about
know this is the easiest way, but I'm not comfortable with doing that with fingerprint. Do we have anything that like a device that we still need to put a code in and clock in and out?
we have other devices for that. I'll go to all of our clocks. We have a couple that do the fingerprints. I bring this one up because it has all the ways of punching in for breaks and mill that has the intelligent clock in it versus
Hmm.
other clocks that just are in and out basically. So you see them in so this morning, they punch out at lunch, they punch back in, they punch out when they leave. But it doesn't
Okay.
say mill and it's not intelligent like that. And they're a little less money. We also have clocks that you can do a full hand if you want, which a lot of construction companies do, so it probably wouldn't make sense. And then we have some that you can do with a proximity card. So at that point, then you're having to make sure people carry cards and don't lose them and have them with them when they come in and without. And then they hit the card, they hit in, their clock in.
Okay.
But as far as so the clocks, I guess, are are a little more of a investment because you buy the clock and then you own it, and then we just integrate that with our services. Um, so there's the one-time fee would be the price of the clock and the activation fee of the clock. So this clock, for example, is a $950 clock to purchase and to activate. So,
Okay.
but that would be a one-time fee, right? And then would last you forever because it's got a lifetime warranty on it. So, unless some temporary employee comes in with the golf club and beats it to death because he's tired of working there, can't really cover that. But at that point, you can garnish his wages and take it out of his pay to pay for a new clock. So, but it does have a lifetime warranty on it, so you don't have to worry about ever replacing that if it just starts to fizzle out for whatever reason, which I haven't
Okay.
seen a lot of those come back. So that's the third option that we originally talked about. And then when somebody punches in, it's gonna go right here to your real time, right? And work with the software. So as soon as they do that, you'll see them in, you'll see when they're out, just like any of the other methods.
Okay.
So it's all real time and all in the cloud, so that you don't have to wait the next day to see who punched in. So it also makes it nice from a security standpoint when somebody's, you know, somebody comes hollering for somebody, you can say, just a minute. Yeah, they're here. They punched in, and they should be in the back somewhere because they
Yeah.
physically clocked in. And that obviously works whether they punch in on the web clock or the a physical clock. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So to
Um,
give you an accurate price, um, if you were to sign up tomorrow, how many employees do you think you'd want to start up for to start?
so I think that the minimum would be 5. Um, but I also need to check with the other department to make sure that that will fit the other department and that they would need that as well. And that might add another about 10 employees. Um,
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is it's obviously very simple math, right? So I can give you a quote for 10, and if they talk to them and they don't want to be a part of it, then we move it to 5. Or if we want to start with 5 and they do want to be it, we can move it to 10. Either way, it's it's no problem for me to do it however you want.
okay.
Um, just more importantly, to get you an accurate price and let you get evaluating that. I'm also more than willing to take a look at doing this again for your supervisor as well. If she wants to see the system, it's no problem as well. I'm happy to
Okay.
show her how it looks.
Do you have some kind of presentation or like a PDF that you can send me and that I can show it to them or
Sure. Um, well, there's a couple small videos I could send you that are links that are on YouTube
okay.
as well. I actually made one of these conversations, and um, I've hit record on this too. So, and I was a little late, but the bulk of our demonstration is on there, so I could throw that on YouTube and send you the link to this as well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. And um, I'll I'll go see what we can do from a price. I'll shoot this over to you and get it. It'll come in the form of a DocuSign, so I'll shoot you an email at the same time so that you know it's coming, and if it doesn't come, you can look in your junk folder to see if it by chance went down there, which
Okay.
can happen. And as far as that goes, I can get you that information. When do you think would be a good time to follow up with you?
Probably next week, after Memorial Day, so either Tuesday, Wednesday, um, yeah, maybe Wednesday.
Okay.
Tuesday might
Can
be a little
I,
bit.
might be a little, why don't we do this? Since I am
Or
gone
if you
on
need more
Wednesday,
time, I mean, to check on that, we can do it towards the end of the week. That's fine.
let's just say a Thursday, I could, around the
Okay.
same time, give you a call.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah. Sounds good. Wait,
And if you have any,
Thursday, let me double check. Thursday, set at 3. No, so I can probably do either 4 p.m. or 1 on Thursday. Otherwise, Friday is quite open
okay.
for now.
Well, why don't I just give you a jingle at 4 p.m.
Okay.
your time on Thursday. That way, if you get a better option as far as doing something besides work on Friday, that you won't have to come in just so you can talk to me.
Don't worry, I'm in the office anyway on Friday.
Well, we all dream of not having to come in on a Friday, right?
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
when your boss calls you, like everything's going so well, you've done such a great job. Why don't you take today off and just go go up to Wrigley Field and go to a Cubs game? I'll buy.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be fun. That would
That would
be.
be a lot of fun.
The 2 times I've been there, actually 3 times, the Cubs were out of town all 3 times I've been there. And the first time was like when I was 16, many moons ago, and so we got to go see the White Sox. But you know, over there, it's you kind of go to the game, go in, go out, and get out type of thing, right? Where you can hang out by Wrigley and go eat and
Yeah.
hop around and have a good time after the game or before. Whereas over at the White Sox, it was kind of like come to the game, watch the game, get in your car, don't look back. Now that was a long time ago. Maybe it's different now. I don't know, but it's very different probably.
Honestly, I haven't
Rig.
been to any of their games, so I don't know.
Well, that's good. Well, and who knows? I don't. Do you even have baseball in Israel? Do kids play baseball or
Um,
just soccer?
we probably have something like that, but
Probably
it's
more
not very
cricket,
common. So
maybe. Or yeah. Well, good. Well,
yeah.
hopefully you have a great holiday.
Thank
Hopefully you
you.
get at least Monday off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be fun. It'll be good to take a break for a couple days, huh?
That's true.
So I'll shoot this off to you as soon as possible here today, and
Okay.
I'll give you a call next week on Thursday.
Great. Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time, Greg.
You're welcome. I appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.